All right, we're live. Welcome to the April 8th, 2025 regular school committee meeting. This meeting will be broadcast and recorded on Foxborough cable access. So we are going to kick off this meeting with open public comment. And if you can all see at home, we've got a wonderful full gallery here. So start it off. It looks like 4 people have signed up to speak. So I see 3 of them here.
Erin McCarthy, 387 South Street in Foxboro.
Tom Gill, 210 High Plains Street, that's in Walpole.
Zach Diorsi, 29 Wall Street in Foxborough.
Thank you for listening to us tonight. We're here to represent the Foxborough Education Association, the FEA. Here's our statement. We, the membership of the Foxborough Education Association, stand united in support of a fair contract that includes the following 4 points. Improved pay for educational support professionals and assistants to strengthen student support. Number 2, fair and competitive compensation to help Foxborough retain and recruit high-quality educators. Number 3, a modern parental leave policy that allows educators to care for their own children, just as we care for the children of Foxborough. And number 4, smaller class sizes and caseloads to improve and ensure student outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say a couple of words in support of that platform. I'm a town resident and Spanish teacher at Ahern Middle School, and I've been in the district since 2014. In my more than a decade of service in the town of Foxborough, I've worked at the elementary, middle, and high school levels, giving me a unique perspective on education in this town. Additionally, I'm no stranger to the table at which I currently sit. I've presented here in front of the Foxborough School Committee several times in the past 2 years about the incredible things our students and teachers are doing on a daily basis. Whether I'm presenting my work as part of the committee to bring standards-based report cards to the middle school level, or hyping up our amazing student leaders in the web program and leadership club, I've always felt pride in being able to share the truly magical things that happen daily in this town. Tonight I'm here for a different yet equally important reason. Tonight I'm here to speak on behalf of the Foxborough Education Association as we assemble here to present our petition to you, the school committee, and urge you to continue to bargain with us in good faith toward the contract that we deserve. In my decade plus of experience in the town of Foxborough, I've heard time and time again the same refrains echoed throughout the town. Foxborough is a destination district, and Foxborough is different. I have to say, I agree. The educators who so passionately and dedicatedly pour their heart and soul into the profession make Foxborough a town for which I truly take pride in working. I know I'm not unique in the level of care and dedication I put into my job. In fact, I'm one of a multitude of teachers and educational assistants who go above and beyond to make the Foxborough experience second to none. The opportunities and experiences afforded to our town's children due to the care, expertise, and dedication of our educators truly make this town an educational destination. Unfortunately, in recent years, our collective bargaining agreement has fallen out of line with the level of service and care provided by our dedicated educators to the town's children. While educators are providing state-of-the-art, cutting-edge educational experiences for our students, many areas of our collective bargaining agreement are stuck far in the past. The educational assistants who often provide support for our town's most vulnerable populations deserve to make a living wage without having to work 2 or 3 other jobs just to make ends meet. If we're to call ourselves a destination district, which I believe to be true based on what Foxborough educators provide to our students, then we should compensate our teachers in a way that makes Foxborough a destination district for highly competent, highly qualified teachers. This way, we can retain and continue to recruit educators of the caliber that the children of Foxborough deserve. We must ensure reasonable class sizes and caseloads so that our high-caliber educators can do their job in a way that ensures the greatest student outcomes. And finally, we must provide to educators a modern parental leave policy that keeps Foxborough in line with our neighboring communities and allows our educators to care for their own families in the same way we care for the town of Foxborough. So tonight, we are here to implore the Foxborough School Committee to hear our platform, to understand the importance of a fair contract in our efforts to provide the same high level of education to the town's children, and to continue to bargain with us in good faith to that end. We look forward to working in conjunction with the school committee in the town of Foxborough in this process so that we as educators can continue to make Foxborough a true destination district that supports its educators as much as the educators support their students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Sarah.
So we have a copy of.
Can you make sure that Jamie gets a copy of both of those so we
Yeah, we announced it
Okay.
before. They're gonna.
So in here is a copy, and it looks like this on our poster, but it's a copy of all the signatures we have of our members that have supported us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So we generally do not respond to public comment during our meetings, but I will make an exception. All I want to say on behalf of the school committee is that right now our teachers and ed assistants have active contracts through the summer. We started negotiations early to try to do our best to make sure we have new agreements before these expire. We are engaged in good faith negotiations with both groups. We value all of the district's employees, and we also want them to have fair contracts. That's all I'm going to say tonight, but we do appreciate all of your input. Thank you. Now we have one more comment, and this is something different. And this is this Dennis?
Yes.
Yep.
Just introduce yourself and give us your address.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Gove, and I live at 40 Beach Street. Tonight, I speak not just in support of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools. I speak in defense of the very soul of public education. DEI is not a trend. It is not a political agenda. It's a moral commitment to see every child, to honor every story, and to build a classroom where every voice matters. We are heirs to a proud Massachusetts legacy. It was John Adams who declared that wisdom and knowledge, as well as virtue, are necessary for the preservation of rights and liberties. Education is a bulwark against tyranny, a tool for justice. DEI strengthens that foundation. It doesn't threaten the republic, it protects it. And yet, in recent months, we've watched a chilling campaign unfold. Campaign led by the Trump administration to dismantle these efforts, to silence truth, and to bully schools into submission with the threat of withheld funding. This is not policy, it's coercion. Let's be clear. Capitulating to these directives is not neutrality, it's surrender, it's moral retreat, and we must not comply. We will not exchange our principles for permission slips. We will not contort our values to fit their politics. Emily Dickinson wrote, "Truth is so rare, it is delightful to tell it. And tell it we must, especially when others try to bury it under fear. If we teach our children that justice is negotiable, that inclusion is conditional, and that truth must pass a political litmus test, we'll have failed them." We're the state where Frederick Douglass found refuge. It was here, he declared, it's easier to build a strong children than to repair broken men. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is how we build strong children. It's how we ensure they are seen, supported, and prepared to lead. So we say no to their certification demands, no to their manufactured panic, no to the dismantling of dignity in our schools. Henry David Thoreau reminded us, if a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Today, the music we listen to is choice, the beat we feel is justice, and the rhythm we follow is truth. Let us meet this moment with the same fierce independence that lit the fire in Concord, that echoed from Walden, that thundered from Douglas's words, and has rang through our Commonwealth's conscience ever since. Let us choose integrity over intimidation and justice over compliance. Let them say that when the moment came, we did not bow. We stood for them in the face of tyranny, and we did not comply. I leave you with this. Do not obey in advance. Representation matters. It allows a student to read a character and whisper, "They're telling my story." To see themselves in history and realize, my struggles aren't solitary. To look to their teacher and know, I have an ally. Do not take that away. Do not let fear or pressure rob our children of the mirrors and windows that they deserve. Be courageous, not for the applause, but for the child who's watching, waiting, and wondering if they belong. Be courageous because they do belong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to give that to, oh, you have a copy?
Thank
Great,
you.
thank you. All right, we're going to move along to the approval of minutes. So we have a set of minutes here from February 25th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the school committee meeting from February 25th, 2025.
Second.
Any further discussions, questions, or comments? All right, all in favor of approving the minutes? All right, 500. Thank you very much. Next set of minutes. These are policy subcommittee minutes from March 17th.
I make a motion to accept the policy subcommittee meeting minutes from March 17th, 2025.
Second?
Any further discussion, questions, or comments? All right, all in favor of approval of these minutes? All right, 500. Thank you very much. Next, we have meeting minutes from March 20th, 2025, and this is policy subcommittee meeting.
One amendment, the second bullet, 4.3. That should be changed to 4.8.
Oh, the third bullet should be 4.8?
Yes.
April 8th?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Motion to approve the minutes of the policy subcommittee meeting from March 20th with the edit as requested this evening.
I second.
Any further discussions, questions, or comments? All in favor? 500. Thank you very much. We are going to move on to the much anticipated teaching and learning highlight. We have IGO's fourth grade Care for the Environment here. If you can, come up. You're going to sit at the chair, and when it's your turn to talk, you're going to speak as close to the microphone as you can, so everyone at home will be able to hear you. And if you need to move the chairs up, you can.
Can we change this one?
They can move the chairs too if they want.
You can slide a chair.
Yeah, slide a chair. That's fine.
Let's see if they can fit both.
Everyone's got a place at the table.
And then we'll just make sure you get the microphone pulled up to you.
Just grab a chair from right behind you if you want.
Yeah, just pull the chairs right behind you and drag them over. That's fine.
There you go. Scoot serious.
Oh, they're hooked. That's what's making it a little harder. They're hooked.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Just make sure when it's your turn to talk, just do it in the microphone. Yeah, that's live.
Hi, thanks for having us here tonight. I'm Janelle Morrissey, the principal of IGO. I have a handful of scholars today who are going to present some of their opinion writing pieces from the Empowering Writers curriculum. I also have the fourth grade team of amazing teachers here to support and represent as well.
So just to give you a little background, we read an article called Water Bottles, Helpful or Handy, and then each class decided what our stance would be on this topic. So we wrote a 5-paragraph essay, and here we've compiled each student's different paragraphs, or they collaborated on a paragraph to share our opinion on whether water bottles are helpful or handy.
So I'm just going to introduce you. So I'm going to have Liam and Ferris start.
The plastic problem.
As people walk along beaches, their attention is drawn to heaping mounds of thousands of plastic water bottles. In forests, thick layers of water bottles contaminate rivers and turn the water a murky brown.
Recycling can help protect our planet by reusing garbage. Plastic water bottles can affect the environment, people, and animals negatively in our world. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
And next, Izzy.
Do you realize that these disgraceful and horrid plastic bottles are demolishing our planet by the second? Every single hour, Americans use about 2,500 plastic water bottles. This is terrible for our environment because hardly any of these bottles are recycled. So they land in our world, creating so much pollution in the air as well as in the ocean. Surprisingly, plastic never decomposes. It slowly breaks down into tiny pieces that build up in the environment. This is horrible for our Earth because it takes up so much space that we can use. Yet, you can only imagine what plastic water bottles can do to our helpless animals.
And Lexi. No? Louie and Josh.
Wildlife devastation. Just imagine how plastic is harming wildlife all around the world.
Did you know that 52% of sea turtles have mistaken plastic containers and bags for food like jellyfish, then swallowed them up?
This means that every 1 out of 2 turtles have plastic in their stomach.
If this continues, then the population of sea turtles will sadly decrease.
Seagulls are mistaking microplastics for herring eggs, trying to digest them. Then it gets stuck in their throat and they sadly suffer. If we do not do something about these plastic water bottles, then this lovely bird's population will die down.
It is no surprise that people on a beach found a dead whale carcass with 88 pounds of plastic inside its stomach.
Pollution is hurting wildlife and should not continue.
It is sad to know that the population of wildlife is fading away from plastic around the world.
And now Lexi.
Have you ever wondered how to help the environment? You can help the earth by recycling any plastic around your community. Can you believe only 9% of plastic gets recycled? Surprisingly, plastic is used to create different things such as park benches, insulation, and jungle gyms. The more you recycle, the more other people can reuse these materials. Imagine if your recycling could open up a new park. There are lots of alternatives that you can use instead of plastic water bottles, like glass bottles, stainless steel bottles, and BPA-free plastic bottles. Keep in mind that there are lots of alternatives to help keep our world clean.
And now Abby and Rose, if you want to come forward.
You can move that microphone closer if you need to.
Imagine our world 100 years from now and seeing mounds of plastic glittering our precious planet. Not only do these environmental killers harm sea life, but they also end up not being recycled and end up in a landfill. Without a doubt, people absolutely must find alternatives for these H2O holders and protect our fragile environment. Remember that you have a chance to save our world and help make it a cleaner place. You don't need to be the problem. We need to save the animals because they have no voice. So we need to speak up for them and be the planet voice for the future. Remember, you have a choice to change our world.
And now Eileen and Allie will present their action steps.
We can place recycling bins in our school classrooms so all water bottles and caps end up safely inside.
Two, we can use a reusable water bottle in school and sports.
3, we can use paper bags instead of plastic bags.
4, we can use a metal straw instead of a plastic one.
5, we cannot use the plastic silverware in the cafeteria. We have metal.
6, we can pick up plastic trash when we see it.
And that's their presentation.
Fantastic job. Thank you guys for all being here. Does anyone have a question or a comment?
I love your knowledge. I love that you didn't just come here and just, spout off the recycle. I did your work. You studied it. You gave us suggestions. I love that you really put effort into this. Thank you.
A lot of passion, too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. Everyone's favorite teaching and learning highlight. All right, we're going to now move on to our superintendent update.
It's hard to top that.
No, yeah, I don't think you can. Don't even try.
However, we've got some amazing young kids and older kids. We just had MICA take place recently, and lots of gold medals and silver as well. So congratulations for those that participated in the Massachusetts Instrumental and Choral Association. So that adjudication and all the work that goes into hosting that here in Foxborough, it is a huge lift with a lot of people that come to the high school that participate, so nearly 1,000 students actually. So again, thank you to our department, music department for hosting and doing all of that work, and congratulations to all of our music teachers and students, because they really had an outstanding performance and outcome with 4 gold medals and a silver medal overall. Also a shout out to JJ Blanchard and Henry Griffin, who represented us well for Student Government Day at the State House in Boston. Some upcoming events, there's 3 of them I wanted to mention. One of them is taking place on Thursday night in the Hearn Auditorium at 6:30. So as you're aware, this is the curriculum review year for math. And based on some changes that are anticipated as a result of that review, you'll hear more about that in June. But there's going to be an information session for elementary, middle students, high school, really more grades 6 to 12. And Mr. Johannes Meyer, who's the department head for the math department at the high school, as well as Noelle Hendrickson, our K-8 math science director, will be presenting some curriculum changes and course sequence and what that impact will look like at that meeting on Thursday. On Monday, I'm going to shout out, because Jasmine, so much work is done for the culture, our World Culture Night, which is all done by students. We've heard about it, but just the amazing work that this young lady has done is quite extraordinary. I won't say anything more than come, and then you can add the extra details, but wanted to make sure to mention that is coming up on Monday, the 14th, and that'll be at the high school from 6 to 8. And then have you give any other details afterwards. A couple of other things that I wanted to mention. April 21st through the 25th, that is the 5 days of action. So when we think about our partners with the YMCA, it's about protecting children. And we all, as Foxborough employees, it doesn't matter if you're coaching youth sports, we all go through Darkness to Light Stewards of Children training for recognizing and protecting children against child sexual abuse. So in April, which is Child Abuse Prevention Month, there's a week-long campaign that's called the 5 Days of Action, and you'll see that if you're members of the Y or just information out there on social media, and it's really to increase awareness for child sexual abuse and to empower and equip our communities to help protect our kids. So again, just wanted to call out that 5 Days of Action, that week-long campaign that will be taking place soon. Another thing that I wanted to mention was, I know we've talked about it here, particularly under mental health supports. And so with William James College, we've had Interface, which we had a grant through the town and partnered with the schools in order to have these supports for community members and for those residents living in Foxborough, and it was definitely a resource that we could leverage as part of even our multi-tiered system of supports. And that became very, very costly. But it was a critical need to be able to bridge over to community members to be able to help them get some of the mental health supports that they needed. So we've been working with finding another solution that's more cost effective, that will again bridge parents, guardians, students to resources outside of schools. And the opioid settlement money that came into the town as part of that work in partnering with the town, it was some of those funds to go to the schools and what that would look like and how it would best benefit our students, our staff, and then the greater community too. So one of the things that we looked at, because Interface through William James College was quite expensive, was Care Solace. And so we're going to be partnering with Care Solace as using that money, and that's the money that was the settlement from the Attorney General's office, if you recall, and losing Interface but gaining Care Solace. So what this does is it really works to eliminate barriers to mental health care for families in the community. When we look at navigating things that are really hard within that system, finding supports for families, trying to find that specialization fit, finding providers that are willing to help no matter what they're looking for. If there's wait lists, how can you help families navigate that and find resources that are there? So more information will be coming out for those opportunities and really what the benefits are that can be provided, and resources, I should say. But it's really, the goal is to connect students, families, staff with any available mental health care services as quickly as possible, no matter what their circumstances are. So I just wanted to mention that. That's something partnering with the town, trying to find a solution that, again, is going to be able to coordinate for students that particularly are in need of, whether it's intensive treatments, whether it's other just resources to connect them, complementary to the community based on us using this money from that settlement to be able to help remove those barriers. One thing that's I needed to bring forward too, which is different, kind of change gears here, is you might recall back in like 2023, we had a facilities truck that was approved through school committee. It was approved through CIP, but we had an issue with inventory, with a lack of inventory. We're now able to purchase that, but we also have a policy with school committee that anything that's over $25,000, you have to vote to transfer from one line item to the other. So we're needing that vote in order now that the inventory has become available to be able to purchase that very needed facility vehicle that has been long needed now for a couple of years. But it's become available. I don't know, Karen, if you wanted to add anything else or.
Please.
Sorry. Yes, so the original truck was going to be paid out of that rental of facilities revolving fund, but it's better suited in the general fund, and the account that I'm moving it, the electricity, can be used in the rental of facilities, because the rental of facilities revolving is more to be things related to the buildings. So that's why we're moving it to that and moving the electricity over to the revolving fund. That's why I need the budget transfer.
That's fine.
It's the same as the capital improvement plan was already voted on in December of '23, but we're just changing the funding source to better suit.
Great. So, Karen, can you just remind us what the dollar amount is, please?
The truck is estimated at about $60,000. It's an estimate that I got recently. It's going to be on the state contract. We're purchasing it off a vendor that's on the state contract.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And just to summarize, in case I'm just making sure I understand, the ask is for us to vote on moving that 60+ thousand from the electricity line or the electricity account to a specific account for buying the vehicle, right?
So we're setting up a new account in the general fund because it would have to be a fixed asset account in the general fund. So it's acquisition of motor vehicles is a new account we're setting up.
Okay.
That way it's reported accurately in the end of year report.
Right, and everyone can see what it's for and where it's from, because it's not for electricity.
Right.
All right, that's helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chair, will you entertain a motion?
Yes, I will.
Motion to transfer $60,000 from the electricity account to the acquisition of motor vehicles account.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, or discussion on this?
No.
All right, all in favor? And that would be 500. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm sure Tony will be happy.
Tony will be very happy.
Long overdue. So there obviously eclectic of things, of topics in the update. But one of the ones that I wanted to bring up here, and it's last but certainly not least, and this particular update is an update that, it's not really an update, it's that this is technically, Rob and Brent, your last scheduled meeting. We still have time, so we could be scheduling more meetings, you don't know, but the last scheduled meeting at this point.
It is.
So I just wanted to take a moment publicly to really share my personal gratitude for all of the work that you two have done for so many, many years. It is really something that people don't realize, the amount of time and effort and heart and soul that go into these volunteer positions and the things that you end up getting yourself into with subcommittees and meetings and topics that you might be learning a lot of new information about. So again, just really wanted to say thank you for all that you've done to support the Foxborough Public Schools, and not just the public schools, but the community at large. So we have a little top 5 things of why we're so grateful to the two of you. So I'm going to start with number 5. And that is that you both have served, if many people don't know, they should know. So not only have you served multiple terms here on school committee, but prior to school committee, serving on the advisory committee, our AdCom. And that was a lot of work as well. And the knowledge that you brought from that committee to school committee as well has only served us even that much better. So number 5, you've both served on AdCom, and all that you've learned and brought to this table to help the FPS, we are so grateful. That's number 5. Number 4.
I have number 4, and you both have served as chair in your tenure on the school committee. And I've enjoyed having you both as chair, including that moment where I first met the Foxborough School Committee and Rob was the chair.
Good night.
I have lucky number 3. You both served multiple terms on both policy and budget subcommittee, and specifically to Brent, we did sort of the unthinkable here in the last year, spending, I don't even want to know how many hours, meeting. So thank you for your dedication.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Reason number 2. Both Rob and Brent have spent countless hours of their personal time to review materials, policies, budgets, and minutes to prepare for these meetings. And I appreciate everything you've done, all the work. People do not realize how much work truly goes into it. It's not just about sitting at the table. It's the work you're putting into it behind the scenes. And I appreciate both of you for all your work. Thank you.
Number 1 reason why Foxborough Public Schools are grateful, and we and the school committee are grateful for Brent and Rob for everything. They've navigated with administration through COVID, arguably the toughest educational and public health crisis in history. And for everyone, we appreciate everything that you've each done over the last 6 years here on school committee. And in reality, really, for the citizens of Foxborough, you've put 9 years of volunteer work with the AdCom and school committee, and it's just, the hours are astronomical. It's unbelievable. We appreciate your service to this town, and thank you so much for everything that you guys have done in your tenure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Very emotional. We're going to move on to our other favorite, the student update. And Stevie is sick tonight, so she can't be here with us. Yasmin has some fun stuff to update us on.
First thing, we have the language proficiency testing next week on Tuesday and Wednesday from 1 to 4. You can take this language in a language that you've been learning in school or a language that you speak at home. Our second thing is that there is a prom dress drive to donate your unused, or not unused, but gently used formal dresses. You can drop them off in room 226 to Mrs. Williams. And to get the dresses, you can get them on April 16th or May 1st after school from 2 to 3 for a try-on event. Our third thing is that World Culture Night is on April 14th, next Monday, which is only a week away. I welcome all of you guys to come to enjoy the performances, the many different countries that we are hosting, and food, of course. Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. That's my favorite part. Do you know how many countries are represented? I don't want to put you on the spot.
I believe over 20 different countries.
That's fantastic. Great job. It's a lot to pull that together. The food
It was
is
a
my
lot of
favorite
work.
part, though. I love it. No.
And the other piece too, just by all of the, because I know I was at one of the PTO meetings that you attended, by going around, you ended up increasing from the PTO meetings like 20 additional tables. So going out and really trying to solicit more interest. It worked.
Great job. Good job putting yourself out there. That's awesome. Well, thank you for your update. We hope Stevie feels better. And now we're going to go to Dr. Berdos and Ms. Frazier. We're going to discuss sixth grade standard-based report cards. So come on up.
Sure. So I'll just get us started with what you have in your packet. The memo that you have outlines the work that we've been doing over the course of the past few years to begin the process to implement standards-based report cards in grade 5 and grade 6. This work actually began in the 22-23 school year, where we started to work on grade 5 report cards specifically. During the 23-24 school year, we piloted grade 5 standards-based report cards and developed some rubrics to wrap our brains around how this practice would impact all of curriculum and instruction, not just our grading and reporting practices. And in this current school year, our grade 5 teacher teams are implementing standards-based grading for the first time. And our grade 6 team has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to develop those rubrics and to pilot those practices so that they're prepared for this moment as well. And Ms. Frazier is here to share that work. You have a sample report card in your packet as well. It's not necessarily going to look exactly that way once we fully implement the report cards, but this is a mock-up. And this evening, we'll be asking for a vote to approve implementing standards-based report cards in grade 6 for the 25-26 school year. So I'll hand it off.
Great. Thank you. Hi, good evening. I'm joined tonight by Ms. Casey Kerner, who's a member of our 6th grade team and has been a member of our working group for the 6th grade standards-based report card. So yeah, as you know, and as Dr. Burrows had just explained well, our 5th grade team is in their first year of implementation of the standards-based report card, and the 6th grade team has been piloting standards-based grading practices this year. And we're really looking forward to moving forward in the next school year with those 6th grade standards-based report cards, hopefully with your approval this evening. I think it's been a great year of learning from the 5th grade team as they're really engaging in this for the first time with their students. They're spending a lot of time together really evaluating the assessments that they're giving to students and how well those rubrics are working to assess the standards that you see in the report card. They've definitely made some adjustments along the way that the 6th grade team has been learning from, and Ms. Kerner can speak to that a little bit. And also gathering some input and feedback from families as well in terms of how things are going and how well they're able to interpret the report card and find the scores and the assessments that are being posted in PowerSchool. And we've learned a lot and continue to make adjustments as we go. But I think our greatest success has truly been in the way that we see our students describing their learning, which has been our goal from the start, and the way that they're valuing what they're learning. And I think that our teachers are also learning a lot professionally about the standards and the depth of those standards and really understanding what they're looking for from students. So.
I've really enjoyed the process, honestly. I'm coming from teaching 4th grade, and we did do standards-based, and that was really one of the main things that I missed, because you really understand your students as mathematicians, and students in general in a very different way when you are analyzing each standard as opposed to just a letter grade. So I'm excited to be able to look at it from that lens again, hopefully. And also we've been implementing, as Ms. Frazier said, more ways for the students to assess their own understanding just this year. And I think that's so important for them to take ownership and to actually understand the importance of what we're doing, and to ask for help if they need it and really have a better idea of where they're at. So it's been very helpful. 5th grade, they've been telling us, like she said, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and we've developed rubrics so we can really understand the standards in a deeper way that we didn't understand before.
It's awesome.
My absolute favorite part about the standards-based grading that we've been doing at the Ahern is the student self-assessment piece. We've really made sure that that grade scale and the language that we're using when we're articulating what does it mean to master that standard, we've made sure that it's student-friendly language and really shifted and encouraged students to self-assess. Are you at a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4? Where are you in your understanding? And what do you need to do next in order to master those standards? So I think for me, seeing that student ownership piece and seeing them really understand what it means to master each individual standard, I think is so powerful, and it creates students that are really they're lifelong learners, and they understand what it means to take that ownership. So it's been awesome work by our teachers. So thank you.
Fantastic.
Just one quick question. Do students tend to overestimate or underestimate their mastery?
That's a great question. So from what I've observed in classrooms, initially at the beginning of the year, they were definitely overestimating. And the teachers really did a nice job, I think, of kind of taking a step back and helping the students understand that the goal really is to show mastery of the standard, which is a 3 on our 4-point grade scale. And having a 4 means that you're able to teach it to someone else and you're able to extend beyond what the grade level expectation is. And so I think, we're at a point in the year where our students really do understand that and understand that getting a 2 is not a bad thing. It means you're developing and you're learning, and that's also part of the goal and part of that learning process. And the important thing really being that the students are able to identify what it is specifically that they need to work on in order to move from that 2 to the 3 or the 3 to the 4 if that's where they are in their learning.
Thank you.
And self-awareness is so important for them developmentally too. So even if we can point out, well, maybe you feel like that's a 3, but I'm noticing this, this, and this. So, and then they usually will kind of put 2 points down.
That's fantastic.
The self-awareness piece is critical, right?
Yeah.
Most of us at some point start underestimating what we're able to do. So I would rather say you start and then pull it back a little bit so you have better understanding than always having to push somebody to understand what they have learned and what they do know. So thank you.
Thank you.
How do you feel like from a parent lens, has it been an adjustment for parents as well, or do you feel like it's been smooth?
I think yes and no, right? Because our students are coming up to us with standards-based grading practices from elementary. So in that sense, definitely, I think an easy continuation in a sense. I think that for families who have older middle schoolers who have been on that traditional grading scale, I think navigating Power School has been it's different, right? The grades are in a different place, and we discovered recently that the Power School app is different from the desktop version of Power School. The app has more limitations, and that tends to be what most of our families are using. But if you really want to be able to see the full scope of those standards-based grades for the students, you really do have to access through that online desktop version, really, as opposed to the app. You can see their overall
I've run
scores
into
and the
that
standards.
myself as a parent.
Yeah.
Like, okay, scrape myself off the ceiling. No, you need to go onto a desk.
So we've learned a lot and made those adjustments, and are trying to communicate that as well as we can. And actually, just recently added some additional communication. We emailed it out, but also added it to the website to hopefully ensure that parents really have access to what they're looking for. So.
Awesome.
I know you came, Ms. Carter, you came from 4th grade?
And from another district. So
Okay.
seeing it different ways, yeah.
Oh, wow. What, to your experience, what's the biggest challenge for a teacher who's taking this on? Like, what have you seen from some of your colleagues, whether they be 5th grade or now some of your 6th grade colleagues?
Well, to be completely honest with you, previously, I think the hardest part was that everyone in the grade doing standards-based was not on the same page.
Yeah.
And I don't have that experience where I am right now. We very much even, I mean, we haven't put anything fully in motion yet, but we spent part of our last PD day really looking and analyzing each standard and understanding, okay, so even though we're in all these different classrooms, we're going to use these set assignments and we're going to understand that we're going to rated on the same scale. So I think that consistency piece is really so helpful and important, and that was the hardest part previously.
Makes sense.
And working together, it makes it all so much easier. So we've learned from 5th grade, and yeah, I just honestly, having good colleagues makes it easy, truthfully.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Awesome.
Well, and then I just wanted to say, just looking back at when the district started talking about this, all those years, plural, ago, I appreciate, like I always appreciate, that if you all are going to do something, that you take a step-by-step approach. I mean, I've personally worked in districts where they try to roll something big like this out in a year, and it hurts and doesn't go well. And I just appreciate that you have the support and that all the faculty and administration give each other the support to if you're going to do it, let's do it right and make it stick. And I'm very appreciative of all the work that goes into this, because I've been in leveling meetings like that, and then we didn't do it. so I appreciate the fortitude for you and your colleagues and administration to all just forge ahead and do this, because you pitched it 3 years ago now, and it was the right thing to do then, and it appears to continuing to be the right thing to do now. So thank you for your perseverance with all of it.
Thank you. I think we're definitely very fortunate that both our 5th and our 6th grade teams really are invested in that collaboration together. And I think that's probably where most of our 5th grade team's time has gone this year, to really sitting down together and ensuring that they have that consistency in what assessments they're using and how they're evaluating those assessments, what they're communicating with families and how they're communicating that. And that can, as Ms. Kerner said, that communication, that consistency is so important.
You're here.
Awesome.
Will you entertain the motion?
Absolutely.
All right.
Bless you.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the plan as presented for the 6th grade to move to standards-based reporting on report cards for the 2025-2026 school year.
I second.
Oh. Who seconded?
Everybody.
Michelle.
Everyone.
Michelle.
Michelle gives a second. Any further discussions, questions, comments?
Just thank you for all of the work. As always, we're very grateful to what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
You make it
Right.
easy.
All in favor? Oh, we have to vote. Okay, 5-0. It's
Got it.
official. It's official. Thank you.
Go for
Thank
it.
you so much. Okay, so we now need to vote to reappoint Dr. Berdos as a voting member of the Bi-County Collaborative, or BICO Board of Directors for 25-26. So I'm going to let you take this away.
Sure. So this is an annual vote that's required by school committees as a member district for the Bi-County Collaborative. We have superintendents that sit basically as the board of directors, if you will. I'm actually the chair of the board of directors currently. And it is a required vote each year. So I do need to be reappointed by our school committee to represent Foxborough on that board. Also, you have listed there, and actually just information, the BICO quarterly report. It's a little bit later this year that Jean Sullivan, who's the executive director, she has provided that we've had a lot with movement. So the Summit High School that was over on Route 1, we've moved into those programs into Johnson Middle School, which became available once the new middle school in Walpole was built. And that has been just a great move for all of the students and families. And when you see, because they're in a school now, instead of being in a building where they have opportunities for walking trails and just fields, and then just being in a school itself, when you're there and seeing the kids in action, it's just a great thing to see. Also, they're having their review with the Department of Education, just like we go through when we have tiered focus monitoring, they have that as well. So they've been preparing all of their documents for that, and they have their visit from DESE in May. So you just have some extra information that's from that quarterly report that's there. But again, I'm asking for the school committee to vote to reappoint me to the BICO Board of Directors.
Okay, I propose to vote a motion to reappoint Dr. Amy Berdos as a voting member of Bi-County Collaborative Board of Directors for 2025-2026.
Second.
Any further discussion, questions, or comments? All right, all in favor? And that would be 500 as well. Thank you very much for everything you do. That goes definitely above and beyond. We appreciate it. All right, next, we're going to go over Dr. Burrows is going to go over the Student Opportunity Act update. Do we need a vote on this?
No,
Not
this
right
is for
now.
information only.
Okay, information.
So in front of you, you have the Student Opportunity Act Progress Report. As a reminder, the Student Opportunity Act was put in place in 2019 by the state. It requires districts to develop 3-year plans for school improvement on metrics that are determined by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So at this time last year, I presented the full plan for those 3 years for 2025 to 2027, where we have clear goals at the end of the plan. And then each year, the state charges me with taking a look at our data and giving an assessment of our progress. So this progress report, in the same way that I did last year, I kind of pulled it out of the clunky state reporting system and put it in a nice format so that we could post it on our website. We have made progress in each of the focal areas. As a reminder, the 3 focal areas that we're focusing on for our Student Opportunity Act plan are comprehensive tiered supports, which we've spoken about as multi-tiered systems of support here at this committee. Collaborative teaching models, which we've spoken about as co-teaching. The state just sometimes have different names for the things that we're doing. And targeted academic support and intervention is that third piece. They all kind of layer together. And if you look through the plan and you see the work that we've done over the course of this past school year to try and make some movement on those metrics, we have continued to focus on MTSS. We have made some minor tweaks and changes with our WIN blocks at the elementary level, in our academic support blocks at the middle school level as well, to try and improve student outcomes for our students with disabilities, for some of our other student subgroups, low income, our African American and Black subgroups, and Hispanic and Latino subgroups. Those were identified by the state as needing some improvement. If you take a look, I know it's a lengthy report. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about any of those details. Please keep in mind that I'm required to provide all of those descriptions to the state. So it's a long one. But if you take a look on page 6 is a nice snapshot of the progress that we've made this year in the metrics that we've actually made some movement on. We are already, just a year in, closing some gaps on chronic absenteeism rates for some of those student subgroups, which is great news. We're moving in the right direction across all student subgroups for chronic absenteeism, but we are closing gaps in some of those other subgroups as well. We have seen improvements. We focused on restorative practices at the middle school and the high school level. And we've also very recently, Dr. Donovan and Principal Frazier have had our peer mediators come out and talk to you about that training and that program. Those 2 efforts, the training on restorative practices as well as peer mediation, are helping move the needle in the right direction on decreasing incidences of lost learning time due to student discipline. We're mediating that in different ways and using restorative practices to help those kids get back in the classroom. And the other area of improvement is in our 9th grade passing rates. At the high school level, we've really focused and targeted our work through our MTSS structures on improving 9th grade passing rates for our students, and we've made a lot of headway with that over the course of this past school year. So proud so far of the progress that we've made. There's a lot more detail in there. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But we're in really good shape and on the trajectory to meet our targets for this plan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, as always, for all this work and effort and thought that goes into this. It really is amazing. It's awesome. Do you have any questions or comments? We're looking at you, Rob.
I know. I was, so the sentence that stood out to me in this whole thing is on page 8. It's actually 2 sentences. It's in the middle of that paragraph, and it says, it's about engaging families, caregivers, and other stakeholders for those of you that don't have this document in front of you. And it talks about in the 2024-25 school year, we've collected input from families through our strategic planning process. This has included parent surveys and parent focus groups to gather information on what is going well and where our schools can improve outcomes for our students. And this is the key part. Overall, the input received from families has included feedback on supporting all students in accessing enrichment and intervention opportunities during the school day and has solidified our approach to support students in the classroom through multi-tiered systems of support. In addition to our surveying of families, our surveying of students has confirmed, this was the exciting part, big build-up, has confirmed that our transitions between middle and high school are viewed as being smooth and supported by our staff. And then I'm going to jump, put the little ellipse in there, and finish it up with preliminary data as well as qualitative data from our engagement with families affirms that we are on the right track with supporting student access as they transition to high school. So I would have liked that in like italics because I could have found it faster, but I really, as Sarah said, we appreciate this work, and I'm very excited to continue to watch the progress of this. So thank you.
Sure.
Very exciting.
It's always nice to hear when our students and our families notice the hard work that we're doing and congratulate us for that. So that was my favorite part of those focus groups, was kids actually mentioning that and then seeing in the data that our 9th grade passing rates are improving as well. It just really solidifies that we're on the right track, we're doing the right thing. So.
It's another great reminder to engage when you see those surveys and respond and comment.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Your words matter and your opinions matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely they do.
Yeah. Anyone else have any?
Just one. I also appreciate, and I'm, as the one drafting the report, I'm sure so do you, the amount of overlap between the pillars in our plan for success and what the state's asking us to do, because it's just more indication that things are going well on that front, and everyone's rowing the boat in the same direction. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Anything else? Anyone else have anything? Thank you so much. Okay, we appreciate that. We're going to actually move on to our policy subcommittee. We've done a lot of talking this year about the policy subcommittee and this big lift, but I just want to take a second to thank each of you. Not only did you spend countless hours, there's actually, believe it or not, a real value and a price tag to some of the work that you've done. I did some research with Massachusetts Association of School Committee, and in talking to them, I found out in passing that should they end up taking this on, which they do for most districts, they charge $10,000 for this work and take about the same time to complete this work. So I just want to, we've talked a lot about everyone's, Rob and Brent and their volunteerism, but there's an actual price tag to this work that you've done this year. So, it means a lot to us, and we appreciate the time and effort, but it was interesting for me, and I'm really proud to be part of a committee where you guys are so willing to take this on, and it benefited the towns and the schools. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, take it away.
You want first? Or do I want first? I want first?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, I organized my papers.
I can go first. Sorry. Okay, the first policy here is just the student dress code one. We simply just added guardians because that's what we've been doing.
Motion to waive the second reading of file JICA, student dress code.
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? 500, thank you very much.
Motion to approve file JICA, student dress code.
A second.
Any further discussion, questions, or comments? All in favor? 500, thank you very much.
The next one, file JJA, student organizations. It's the same as last meeting, no changes.
I make a motion to waive the second reading of file JJA, student organizations.
Second.
Any further discussions, questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Great, 500.
I make a motion to approve file policy JJA, student organizations.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, or discussion?
No.
All in favor? 500, thank you very much.
JJH-R, late night and overnight student travel. There were, it was a change in Group B where we struck this idea that for that type of things, that students should not be assigned individual funding targets because practically speaking, for trips that are usually abroad or across the country, they students engage in a lot of personal fundraising. And then we updated the legal references as well.
Motion to waive the second reading of file JJH-R, late night and overnight student travel.
A second.
Any further questions, comments, discussions? Seeing none, all in favor? All right.
Motion to approve file JJH-R, late night and overnight student travel.
A second.
Any further comments, questions, discussions? Seeing none, all in favor? Very good.
Aye. JP, the policy you see in front of you combines that language that Mr. Canfield was kind enough to draw our attention to from another district, I believe it was Newton, and and then keep the aspects that we do care about regarding solicitations.
I make a motion to waive the second reading of file JP, student gifts and solicitations.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, discussions? Seeing none, all in favor? 500, thank you.
I make a motion to approve file JP, student gifts and solicitations.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, discussions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you.
All right, the next policy is file JQ, student fees, fines, and charges. And we looked at this one again after the last school committee meeting to try and make it clearer and fix the language a little so the committee is satisfied with it.
Motion to waive the second reading of file JQ, student fees, fines, and charges.
A second.
Any further questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 500, thank you very much.
I make a motion to approve file JQ, students' fees, fines, and charges.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? And 500, thank you very much.
Go
ahead, Nate.
The next policy, file ACE, non-discrimination on the basis of disability, same as it was presented last meeting.
Motion to waive the second reading of file ACE, non-discrimination on the basis of disability.
A second.
Any further questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you, 500.
Motion to approve file ACE, non-discrimination on the basis of disability.
A second.
Any further questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 500. Thank you very much.
And then -3, the CORI request form, all we had done was take out the old obsolete CORI request form and put in the new one that the district's actually been using for a couple years. And so,
Do we have the new one?
No, we don't have.
Oh,
the new
okay.
one. I don't have the new one.
Okay, I don't either.
But it's the one that we currently use.
Yes,
It's not
yes,
me.
yes.
I waive the second reading of file ADDA-E3, CORI request form.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
I make a motion to approve file ADDA-E-3, CORI request form.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 500. Thank you very much.
all right. Now, file AK, student, which was academic achievement. This one, we updated the language, and also, in a rare instance, are asking the committee to collapse two policies into one, specifically the one that Jamie had just passed out. IKAB, which is in our policy manual, which does talk about progress reports. And then the file that we had prior in academic achievement was more of a document of philosophy and principles, which is now lives in other policies and lives most strongly in our vision of a graduate, which the district works so hard on. So we had advised to tighten up the language around progress reports to parents and guardians and just have it live as file IK, which is in line with what a lot of districts do. Not every district we look at, but it just simplifies matters. And so that the language which was proposed in our last open meeting, we used one district in particular, Westwoods, as an example, but then we made it fit Foxborough, and we didn't use the whole policy. We just used the things that were germane to our district without trying to overstep. This one here, if the committee prefers, we read out the new language. That's what I'm going to recommend.
I agree with you.
Okay.
It's a wholesale change, so.
Then fine. Okay. Okay, then here I go.
Are you going to do a top to bottom read or just read the changes?
I'm just going to read the proposed new language. So that's going to be the stuff that you'll see in red.
Great.
And I will not read the old Foxborough policy IK.
Do we need to waive the full reading of IK first?
I don't think we
No.
ever read the edits, the original.
Yeah, we never really
Okay.
read the edits, so.
All right.
Yeah, so this is a continuation from the last
Okay.
meeting when we did do a reading, but now because, for
Okay.
folks watching, because we made a substantive change, we like to do the full reading again. All right, file IK. New title, Student Progress Reports to Parents/Guardians. The Foxborough School Committee recognizes the school's obligation to give periodic reports of a student's progress and grades. The school committee further recognizes that these reports are a vital form of communication between the schools and parents/guardians. The school committee also believes that all progress reports must be based upon full information, accurately and honestly reported with the proper maintenance of confidentiality. A report depicting the student's progress will be issued periodically following an evaluation by the appropriate teacher, teachers, or other professional personnel. In addition to periodic reports, parents will be notified when a student's performance requires special notification. Cross-references KBBA, non-custodial parents' rights, reference Foxborough Public Schools Plan for Success. Policy originally adopted on 3/24/08. Policy later revised on 4/25/11.
Thank you. One small edit. and
Please,
I
Rob.
thought you were going to catch it. Sorry. The last sentence, we just need to add the /guardians after parents.
In the
Oh, for love.
That one too. Yep.
Yeah, parents/guardians. Sorry.
No, good, I love it.
I
That's what,
apologize. I was just saying, let's waive the second read. I thought there was a second page to this.
why this
I
isn't
thought
done
this
with
was
one person
longer.
alone in a
Thank you.
room.
Thank you. Okay.
Which would be awful.
I just have one question on procedure. I know we're trying to remove policy IKAB, but I believe in the past when we've removed a policy, we've done it as a separate motion.
Yes.
Okay, I just want, so we need to vote to remove policy IKAB, and then we need to move to adopt the revised policy IK as presented this evening.
We can do it either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if folks are comfortable with that and it's simple, then I would say let's go with what Mr. Canfield's suggesting. I don't know what you think, Madam Chair.
Well, I think we just read this. I think we should adopt this and then rescind this. I mean, does it matter?
I think you have to do it the other way.
Okay. All right.
And that's fine. So then, in that case, just because I have the language, I move that we remove file IKAB, present policy for student progress reports for parents/guardians.
I second.
Any further questions, comments, or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 500. Thank you very much.
And then I further move that we adopt file IK as presented here this evening.
Second.
Any further questions, comments? All right, all in favor? 500. Thank you very much. Wow.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
can we indulge the committee for a couple more minutes?
Please do.
Okay. Just because we're second policies. This work's obviously going to transition to a new policy, a new school committee makeup, and therefore a new policy subcommittee. But the things that Mr. Ehrman and I are leaving for the next committee and
Yes.
work that's in process is a document of policies that, if it's the will of the subcommittee and therefore the incoming chair, will have, I think right now there's 10 policies that are ready for first reads that have gone through admin vetting, various department vetting. There will be more. There's currently about 35 policies that are out for specific department review that various departments within the district have said, yes, we're going to advise some changes on this. And so that work that will continue, but what Mr. Ehrman and I have tried to do is create a workflow for the makeup of the committee coming in that's clear, easy to follow, and whatnot.
So you're just trying to give us one more thing for the pile to be thankful for?
I'm trying to make sure that your meetings in the future always go to 11:30.
Thank you. Again,
That's
this is another
caring.
reason why, we're going to really miss you, and we do appreciate all
doubt
your
it.
effort. Honestly, it really is. That is so thoughtful and so mindful and so wonderful for you to do that for the next policy subcommittee and yes, the next chair as well. So thank you for your thoughtfulness on that. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Did I miss anything, Mr. Ehrman?
You covered it all. Thank you.
Well, there's always a first.
Thank you so much. Are you guys yielding?
Yeah, you can have
Are
it
you
back.
yielding?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on to the superintendent's contract. So per the current contract, the superintendent, Dr. Berdos, superintendent current contract, has another year, as her 5-year contract is July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2026. Per the current contract, the superintendent shall notify the committee in writing by May 1st, 2025, if she wishes to negotiate for a successor contract. The superintendent has notified us in writing regarding a successor contract. So specifics for contract negotiation regarding the compensation or changes to the contract would take place at a later date as part of the evaluation cycle. But at this time, I am asking for a motion that the school committee commit to entering into a 5-year successor contract with Dr. Berdos to run from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2031, with any changes to be discussed and negotiated after Dr. Berdos' next evaluation.
So moved.
So that was a mouthful.
Well, I skipped it. I said so moved.
Thank you. Thank you. So you're making that motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, or discussion? I'd like to just say I feel very grateful and I'm very excited. But
I'm very grateful too.
yes,
Thank you.
yes. Thank you very much. All in favor? And that would be 5-0-0. Thank you very much.
May I just
Please,
say a
please.
couple of things?
Hey, more than May.
I think that what we see going across the state, when you see the lack of stability with superintendents and districts, for whatever those reasons may be, last count, I think there's 21 that are open right now. And I think that it's really important for the stability of the community and consistency. We've had that in Foxborough for many, many years, and that's because, as it was said before, it's a destination of choice, and it is a wonderful district to be in and to be able to serve the students and the staff and all of faculty and staff with our families and community. So I thank you for that, because it is no other place that I would want to be, because I do truly believe that when you have a deep understanding of a district, then you're able to have that sustained growth and improvements, and you have a deep knowledge of the initiatives and the hard work that everyone's doing. And you can't do that if you don't have a collaborative environment in order to move those initiatives forward. And so I think that having those relationships and that background knowledge allows you to do that. And again, the most important piece is our students that we serve,
Right.
and to be able to have that consistency with all of the work that has been done and that continues to need to be done in the future for our continued, growth and improvement. So I'm very happy to be able to do that work with the fabulous people that work here in the school district as well as the community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. We're so excited. Thank you. Last but not least, we are at the community update. Why don't we start? We'll start over here today. Ms. Sheridan, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
No updates?
I have just one update. If you bear with me, I want to get this date right for you. I had mentioned previously that the Governor's Graduation Council, that the kickoff for that graduation council would be listening sessions across the state. The first listening session is actually going to be this Thursday, April 10th, from 5 to 7 at Taunton High School. These listening sessions, I'm actually a part of an advisory board for the Superintendents Association that's going to be meeting over the course of the next 2 years to help advise our representation on that Governor's Council. We have a superintendent representing the entire organization. So I spoke earlier today with that group to get some details. This listening session will be facilitated by the Secretary of Education, Mr. Tutwiler, who's actually also the interim commissioner for the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So he's two people in one right now. This is the first of many opportunities. If you can't go in person, there will be a virtual opportunity in the beginning of June that might be easier for you to attend, but I wanted to make sure that the committee was aware that that first session is happening. And again, that council is to explore over the course of the next 18 months to 2 years whether or not we should be pursuing in Massachusetts a statewide graduation requirement and statewide graduation standards.
Okay. So specifically focused on that.
It's specifically focused on that. It's not about the competency determination or the MCAS. That is separate.
Sure.
And if you think back to the graduation requirement policy that we just adopted,
Right.
that graduation requirement policy had 4 years of math, 4 years of English, 3 years of laboratory science, 2 years of world language, 3 years of history, 2 of which including U.S. history. So that's what that Governor's Graduation Council is having a discussion about. Should there be a statewide normed graduation requirement, or should it continue to be the case that individual school districts are setting those requirements?
Okay.
Great. just to clarify, there won't be any kind of, it won't be broadcast. There'll be no virtual opportunity. You have to go to Taunton High School?
Correct, for this first one. So this first one is tomorrow. As soon as I have more information about all of the other dates that are happening throughout this spring, they are intentionally planned out geographically. So this is likely going to be the closest one to us. Okay. I imagine that there's probably going to be one out in the Berkshires area, one on the North Shore, one in the Boston area, one maybe on the Cape, just thinking about all the geographic regions that we have. So this might be the closest one to us. However, there will be a virtual one in June if you're unable to attend.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's important. Yeah. Thanks. Dr. Berdos.
What's up?
I have a couple.
All right.
Thing one, I should have said before, the committee, meaning me and Nathan, subcommittee, owed the rest of the committee an answer to something we didn't put in our earlier update, and I apologize, so I'm kind of going out of turn. It was related to IFK policy on those graduation requirements, and the question had come up to the committee that MASC has a clause about students who are taking time to go overseas to study and coming back and how to handle their credits. And we did check with MASC, and if it's not a practice instituted in the district, that it's not necessary. And so we looked at a few other examples of districts that didn't have it, and so we felt good with advice from admin leaving that out. I should have said that before because people on the committee had asked, and I didn't report back, so I apologize. Now, real community update, I want to hop on to what Dr. Berdos said about all of the tremendous effort and organization that went in from so many student volunteers and parent volunteers and teachers. They were volunteering too because it was all weekend, really, to have that MICA performance and our hosting of all these communities was really special, and just to hear the appreciation from many representatives from districts around us was pretty profound, that they thought it was really professionally done, and couldn't say enough about both our students and community members who help with that. And then before the next meeting, there'll be Pops coming up for the music. That's not just for parents of current musicians. I encourage anybody to go. It's a nice event. And lastly, for any upperclassmen and graduating seniors and their families who are out there, I wish them peace as they look at the end of graduation, and I wish them lowered anxiety when they think about what might I do for a job, an apprenticeship program, college, and how to pay for any of it. So I wish everybody smooth sailing and easy sleep coming ahead. That's all I have.
Thank you. It's a big lift. It's a big ask.
Well, I thought I put it in.
Thank you. Michelle.
I'm also.
Nathan.
I got one. Tomorrow at the State House, the House of Representatives are taking up H.4005, the governor's proposed supplemental budget, and that includes increased funding for the special education circuit breaker. So fingers crossed. Good news. We hear good news tomorrow to make it easier for our schools. And in the proposal, there's also money allocated for the Inspector General to do a study to figure out why out-of-district tuition costs are so expensive. So there could be some very good news tomorrow.
Respect.
Awesome.
That's
Fingers
great.
crossed on that. Mr. Canfield?
I just thank you for your kind words. I never thought I'd be here. 30 years ago when I moved to Foxborough, no idea. But I just want to thank everyone on the committee and the administration, the educators, because I'm really proud of the work that you all do every day. So thank you.
Me too.
Thank you so much. Well, I guess first and foremost, it's a sad goodbye to Rob and Brent, but we really do appreciate everything for you guys. And thank you for being part of this sort of swan song of a meeting. We appreciate it. On a personal note, to piggyback off what Brent said, after a long and arduous journey, my daughter has decided on the University of Rhode Island. So congratulations, Sophia. I'm so proud of you. And thank you, Foxborough educators, because you helped me make a wonderful little girl there. So thank you so much. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
And
Second.
all in favor? Thank you very much, everyone.